y'all want to eat here? He got HIV, he only use a glove.
In a KFC kitchen somewhere in America, greasy chicken hits filthy water like it's business as usual, only this time, the manager handling your food isn't just ungloved, he's allegedly HIV positive and management knew. But if you think that's scary, just wait until you hear what didn't make the video on how the KFC chicken is made. The footage KFC never wanted you to see. In a recently leaked video, KFC workers are caught mid-shift shouting, accusing their manager of having HIV, and most disturbingly, handling food without gloves.
Y'all see y'all want to eat here? He got HIV, he only use a glove. Come on, bro.
This isn't some isolated location in a bad part of town. This is KFC, the global fast food giant. And what we're about to show you, from tunnels used for drug trafficking to disturbing hygiene practices, is going to make you think twice before ever stepping into a Kentucky Fried Chicken again. Because this goes way beyond dirty kitchens. It's about a culture of secrecy, exploitation, and something disturbingly close to deception. You're about to see the hidden footage, the buried lawsuits, and the incredible efforts KFC has gone to in order to keep the truth buried. But first, let's go back to the tunnel. The footage starts like something from a low-budget crime show, a police raid on what appears to be an abandoned KFC restaurant. Only, this wasn't a search for moldy buckets of chicken. This was a drug bust. Authorities discovered a tunnel inside the now shuttered fast food joint running across the US-Mexico border. Its purpose?
The police find a tunnel inside a KFC, and everything comes to a halt when they realize who's on the other side. Part 2. The residents were saddened to see their favorite fast food restaurant close its doors for no apparent reason. After receiving an anonymous tip about suspicious activity at the abandoned KFC, with numerous men coming and going, some wearing masks, the police immediately went to investigate. They discovered a tunnel inside the KFC. After traversing the tunnel, they found a man on the other side with a bunch of bags from the restaurant that were filled to the brim. They searched the KFC bags and found illegal drugs inside.
That's right, an underground pipeline for smuggling narcotics, with KFC bags stuffed full of drugs. The man found on the other side of that tunnel was carrying those bags as if he was ready to fulfill a combo meal order. And when they opened those bags, not a single biscuit, just tightly packed contraband. Further footage suggests that children's clothes, candles, and even bedding were found inside the tunnel itself.
Tonight, exclusive video from inside the tunnel where children's clothes and toys were found 5 feet underground. A room believed to be dug inside by children with shelves for candles and lamps, bedding, and kids' books.
Why would KFC be linked to this? Investigators believe the smugglers corrupted the owners of that specific KFC location, using it as a front. According to police sources, the owners may have willingly closed the restaurant to allow the tunnel operation to continue undisturbed. And yet, KFC corporate remained silent. No national press conference, no accountability, just silence. This isn't a fast food chain anymore. It's a facade, with disturbing things happening behind the red and white curtain. But it doesn't stop with drug tunnels. Now let's talk about the food. A second leaked video surfaced online where KFC workers explain in alarming detail how the chicken is handled. It's not just dipped in water before breading, it's deliberately re-soaked after arrival to help the breading stick. And it's done with such robotic repetition you start to question if this is sanitary or just marketing spin.
Absolutely. So the chicken is already clean for us when it comes from the processor. We will dip it in water again before it goes through the breading process. So now he's going to take it and he's going to lower that dip basket into the water nice and gentle. And he's going to wait for those bubbles to come up to the surface. What this is doing is cleaning off the chicken. If there's any pieces that have come loose when he's been inspecting it, they'll fall off. And it's allowing the water to get on the chicken for the purpose of coating that breading. Now he's going to pull it up and just let it drain. If we were to put this chicken into the breading right now, it'd be way too much water going into the breading. You get all sorts of uncooked breading and dough ball kind of pieces.
Why? Because according to them, the chicken comes pre-cleaned from the processor. So why the extra dip? Well, turns out it's not about cleaning. It's about coating efficiency. In other words, business. The dip isn't to make your food safer, it's to make their process faster. And this is done using communal water that multiple raw pieces of chicken cycle through, meaning cross-contamination is almost guaranteed. And they're proud of it. At one point in the same video, the employee proudly explains their scoop and press method.
So the 10 is called scoop and fold, scoop and lift, which you're going to learn in a second. So go ahead. He's going to scoop and fold, scoop and lift. Scoop and fold, scoop and lift. And what that's going to do is, again, coat the chicken in the breading, help keep the pieces separated, just make sure all that breading is adhering to the chicken. And then the last step of the 7, so 7, 10, 7, is he's going to press the chicken down into the lug 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, what that's doing, just helping make sure that breading is adhering to the chicken and giving that nice even coating.
This isn't cooking, it's a factory line masquerading as a kitchen, and that's just the surface. Because in another alarming post from Malaysia, a customer shows off what appears to be spoiled or rotten chicken right before biting into it.
Ni ke quality KFC sekarang. Teknik this. Tak boleh nak chew, tak boleh nak makan. What the hell is this?
Their complaint went viral, but once again, KFC issued no public statement, just more corporate silence. So what's really happening here? For decades, KFC has projected an image of Southern hospitality and crispy perfection, a comforting, family-friendly brand fronted by a fictional colonel in a white suit. KFC doesn't just operate kitchens, it operates a web of secrecy so tightly wound that not even most employees know what's in the seasoning. In a widely shared investigative video, a content creator attempts to uncover the real recipe of Colonel Sanders' original recipe, but what he uncovers instead is a disturbing corporate strategy. Not even KFC employees know what they're serving. Some admit it contains MSG, garlic, and salt. Others pretend they don't know at all. Even how it's made is a tightly choreographed script, one designed to give the illusion of care while optimizing speed. And let's not forget the secret ingredient. It's not the 11 herbs and spices. It's deception. And here's where the real problem lies. None of this is technically illegal. The underground tunnels, blamed on franchisees, the food practices, within guidelines, the worker walkouts and viral accusations, under review. Yet the pattern is unmistakable. From secretive recipes to unsafe handling, from criminal operations to PR silence, what we're seeing is a brand that hides behind its mascot while failing its customers and workers. And the worst part is that they are not alone, because what happens at KFC reflects a larger problem in the fast food industry, a system where the illusion of quality is more important than the reality, where secrecy is weaponized, and where trust is a cost of doing business, not a priority. Let's go deeper into the lawsuits, the former employees who spoke out, and the ingredients that aren't just questionable, but potentially dangerous. What KFC doesn't want you to know about its ingredients, employees, and lawsuits. Let's get one thing straight. What you're eating at KFC might not be what you think it is. We showed you the drug tunnels, the viral clips of ungloved hands and shouting matches in the kitchen, the secret dips and breading rituals made to look like Southern charm. But if that shook your trust, buckle up, because the real scandal is what goes into the chicken. Or better yet, what doesn't. Behind the smiling mascot, the buckets of greasy goodness, and the finger-licking slogans is a reality so carefully hidden, it took leaked footage and online sleuths to even scratch the surface. We're talking ingredient manipulation, employee abuse, corporate silencing, and food practices that blur the line between clever marketing and outright deception. So ask yourself, what is KFC hiding? Let's break it down. Let's start with the one thing you probably assumed was safe, the chicken itself. Multiple first-hand investigations reveal that most KFC locations do not season their chicken on site. In fact, most workers don't even know what's in the seasoning mix. The reason? KFC splits the recipe up between two entirely different companies, Griffith Laboratories and McCormick, so that no one person or entity has the full list. Only a few people alive know it in full. This isn't about trade secrets. This is about control, controlling information, controlling controlling accountability, and it's not just about the 11 herbs and spices. According to one on-camera conversation with a KFC employee, the chicken absolutely contains MSG, garlic powder, onion powder, and salt, despite the company's repeated vagueness.
Yeah, it's definitely got salt and pepper in it.
Definitely got salt and pepper. Okay. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I'm just trying to steal the recipe right now.
In fact, when asked about allergens like mustard seed or thyme, employees often shrugged or lied. This is the first red flag. When the people making your food don't know or can't say what's in it, you're not in a restaurant, you're in a corporate theater. But what about the food's safety itself? If you've ever wondered how KFC chicken comes out so crispy, golden, and picture perfect, it's not magic. It's a scientifically engineered sequence of flouring, folding, and pressing designed to mask imperfections and create the illusion of freshness. And don't be fooled by the cooking school content either. Yes, there's a public video showing what appears to be a KFC cooking demo, complete with aprons and cheerful banter. But listen carefully. Even in that controlled setting, the chicken is already clean from the processor. Yet, it's dunked in water again, not for hygiene, but to prep for the breading process. Add to this a claim from a whistleblower video that shows employees washing chicken in a deep sink, a process that more closely resembles prepping hospital laundry than prepping meals. Now let's talk about the oil. In the BTS cooking school video, the instructor admits that these fryers are essentially industrial oil tanks, operating under high heat and sometimes reused for extended periods, though no specific frequency of oil change is ever disclosed. So, if the chicken is only partially inspected before it's breaded, and that breading is there mostly to mask defects, what does that say about what's underneath the skin? And then we get to what might be the most damning part: how employees are treated behind the scenes. In the viral walkout video that surfaced earlier this year, KFC workers storm out mid-shift, cursing at their manager, accusing him of having a communicable disease, and, more importantly, alleging he worked without gloves while handling food. Let's put aside the offensive language for a moment. What matters here is the core allegation. An employee was allegedly handling open food without wearing protective gloves. In any food service environment, that alone would be grounds for immediate disciplinary action. But at a global brand like KFC, it's utterly unacceptable. What's worse, co-workers noticed. They spoke up. They confronted the manager directly, right there on camera. And yet, from the video evidence and what followed, it's clear that management did nothing. No protective measures were enforced, no apology issued, just more tension and chaos behind the kitchen doors. And perhaps most telling of all, there was no corporate response, no statement from KFC, no promise of internal review, no disciplinary update or customer assurance. The silence was deafening, and that silence speaks volumes about the culture behind the counter. In most industries, that's an HR lawsuit. In fast food, it's just another Thursday. And this isn't a one-off. There are numerous reports of spoiled chicken being served to customers, who then take to social media with horror stories: chicken that's too hard to chew, with a texture resembling rubber or sponge foam. These aren't rare outliers, they're part of a larger systemic breakdown in quality control. Let's also not forget the people at the very bottom of this corporate chain, the chicken processors, many of whom work under contract in dangerous high-speed slaughter facilities where workers suffer repetitive stress injuries, lung issues, and in some cases, chemical exposure from ammonia-based cleansers used to sanitize meat. None of this makes it onto KFC's social media feeds, but it is part of the pipeline, from factory floor to fryer basket. And while corporate reps may claim all suppliers meet strict USDA standards, what they don't say is this: many of those standards are outdated, loosely enforced, or filled with loopholes. In 2020, for example, a USDA inspector was caught on video failing to cite a facility that let contaminated chicken pass through the line because they were short-staffed that day. This is not unusual. So, how does KFC get away with all of this? One word: franchising. Most KFC restaurants are owned not by the corporation, but by franchisees, individuals or groups who pay to use the KFC brand in exchange for a share of profits. This model gives KFC two things: global reach and legal insulation. If a store mishandles food, franchise problem. If an employee sues, not KFC corporate, the franchisee. If someone finds a tunnel beneath the restaurant, we had no idea. That store was closed. This layered system keeps the brand clean, while real people, workers, customers, even children, pay the price. And perhaps the most terrifying part of all, we still haven't talked about the lawsuits, because they're coming. Former workers, disgruntled franchisees, and in some cases, health authorities have begun launching inquiries into why fast food giants like KFC operate under such a cloak of opacity and deflection. Let's analyze the court filings, the lawsuits that never made it to headlines, and the disturbing ties between fast food lobbying groups and the agencies meant to regulate regulate them. We'll also talk about addiction, because yes, there is mounting evidence that the KFC formula isn't just delicious. It may be designed to be addictive, and the proof? It's in the seasoning. The addictive secret behind KFC's chicken and the industry cover-up no one's talking about. So far, you've seen how an abandoned KFC was used for international drug smuggling. You've seen how KFC employees walked off the job over unsafe food practices. You've watched leaked videos showing questionable hygiene, masked ingredients, and a brand so wrapped in secrecy it feels less like a fast food chain and more like a covert operation. But what if we told you that's not even the most alarming part? Because hidden beneath the layers of crunchy breading and corporate branding is something that affects millions of people, and very likely you. We're talking about addiction, not in the abstract sense, but actual, chemical, engineered, craving-inducing manipulation. Let's analyze how KFC and others in the fast food industry aren't just selling you food, they're selling you dependence, and they've done it with the help of neuroscience, secrecy, and a legal loophole wide enough to drive a deep fryer through. Let's start with the ingredient that's already been confirmed through internal slip-ups and first-hand admissions, MSG, or monosodium glutamate. In one of the videos we analyzed, a KFC employee finally lets it slip when questioned by an investigator pretending to have food allergies.
Yeah, it's definitely got salt and pepper in it.
Definitely got salt and pepper. Okay. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I'm just trying to steal the recipe right now.
MSG has long been known to enhance flavor by stimulating the umami receptors in your brain. Essentially, it hacks your taste buds. While the FDA has labeled it generally safe, numerous studies have shown MSG can trigger cravings, increase appetite, and cause headaches or mood swings in sensitive individuals. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. MSG is not required to be disclosed by name on menus, so long as it appears under umbrella terms like natural flavor or seasoning blend. That's not a bug, that's a regulatory feature exploited by food giants like KFC. And KFC isn't alone. This is a pattern across the fast food industry, and the big players know exactly what they're doing. Now consider this. What if MSG and secret seasoning weren't the only addictive culprits? In the widely circulated video titled, "I Found the Secret KFC Recipe," the investigator goes through the process of breaking down the 11 herbs and spices. What he reveals is chilling. Not only do the original documents include salt and MSG, but a massive amount of white pepper, paprika, and garlic powder, all proven in studies to spike dopamine responses when paired with fat and sodium.
I will get that secret recipe.
I
just had a quick question. Does the seasoning for the chicken have basil or oregano for allergy purposes?
No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Any thyme, do you know?
No, I not put anything in.
Thank you for calling KFC.
Hey, how are you? So I had a quick question. Is there any mustard seed in the original chicken sandwich? I'm just allergic to it.
It doesn't say if there's any mustard powder or seed in there. Of course, the original recipe does have the, secret original recipe seasoning, so it might just not be informed on there.
It definitely has salt and pepper though, right? I can't have that either. I'm pretty allergic to salt and pepper.
Yeah, it's definitely got salt and pepper in it.
Definitely got salt and pepper.
Let's be clear, this isn't flavor enhancement, this is neurochemical manipulation. The result? A food product engineered not just to taste good, but to override your satiety signals, encouraging overconsumption and repeated purchases. You're not full, you're not satisfied, you're just stuck in a neurofeedback loop that tells your brain, eat more, and it works. KFC generates over $2.7 billion in US revenue annually, with a menu that hasn't significantly changed in decades. That consistency is part of the psychological strategy. Every bite tastes the same everywhere in the world, because that predictability triggers comfort and control responses in the human brain. It's not just marketing, it's mental conditioning. Even the visuals of KFC, the red buckets, the white suit, the smiley colonel, have been analyzed by behavioral scientists as part of a priming mechanism designed to activate nostalgia, craving, and trust. Let that sink in. You're not just eating fried chicken, you're participating in a multisensory, engineered addiction funnel. But how far does this funnel go? In 2020, researchers at the University of Michigan found that fried chicken ranked among the top 5 most addictive foods based on neural response, right up there with chocolate and pizza. And fast food companies like KFC use that to their advantage. Studies show that when foods high in fat and salt are paired with crunchy textures and strong scents, the human brain releases a wave of endorphins and dopamine, similar to mild narcotics. The same effect is not observed with home-cooked meals, even if identical in ingredients. Why? Why? Because home-cooked meals lack the optimized ratios, MSG saturation, and triggering aesthetics found in corporate-designed food. Let's go one step further. Did you know that KFC's parent company, Yum Brands, has spent millions lobbying against regulations that would require clear labeling of sodium, MSG, and chemical preservatives? According to public filings from the Center for Responsive Politics, Yum Brands, the parent company of KFC, has spent millions of dollars lobbying against stricter regulations that would directly affect what customers know about the food they're eating, and what they've targeted reveals exactly what they're trying to keep hidden. For starters, they've fought against stricter nutrition disclosure laws, the kind that would require fast food chains to clearly list calories, additives, and key health warnings right on menus. In other words, they don't want you to know what you're putting into your body. They've also opposed proposed bans on artificial flavors, many of which are used to simulate taste while extending shelf life, often at the cost of nutritional quality. And perhaps most damning of all, Yum Brands has actively lobbied to block front-of-package warning labels, which would alert consumers to excessive sodium, sugar, and chemical content in real time, the very information that might make a parent put the bucket of chicken back on the counter. This isn't just lobbying, it's a deliberate effort to prevent you from making informed choices. Why would they spend money opposing transparency, unless they were hiding something? And perhaps most disturbing of all, this goes beyond food. In cases where former franchisees or employees tried to speak out, they were hit with aggressive non-disclosure agreements, threats of litigation, and in one case, a defamation suit for a worker who published a behind-the-scenes TikTok criticizing store cleanliness. This isn't just about chicken anymore. This is a corporate system designed to punish truth-tellers and protect profit margins. So while KFC promotes itself as a family-friendly franchise, it functions more like a well-oiled PR machine, shielding the public from what's really happening in the kitchens, in the supply chain, and yes, in your brain. We have shown you secret tunnels, unhygienic food handling, franchise shell games to deflect liability, addictive formulations using MSG and dopamine-triggering herbs, legal suppression of whistleblowers, lobbying to avoid transparency. This isn't just an expose, this is a wake-up call. You are being marketed to, manipulated, and fed food designed to bypass your biology and keep you coming back, even if it hurts your health, your wallet, or your peace of mind. So the next time you pass by that glowing red bucket, ask yourself, are you craving the chicken, or are you just hooked? Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.